Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're stepping into a high-stakes, honestly fascinating world. It's a world where artificial intelligence has gotten so unbelievably advanced that we're literally tasking it with evaluating other AI, right? It's like a digital justice system of sorts, but, well, as we're going to see, this system might have a massive fatal flaw. So let's explore this together, because solving this mystery, it's absolutely crucial for how we build the technologies of the future. Okay, let's dive into this. You know how as large language models scale up, they just generate massive amounts of text? Open-ended stories, complex summaries, code, the whole shebang? Well, having humans grade all of this has become practically impossible. It's way too slow and, honestly, way too expensive. So we rely on automated judges to do the heavy lifting for us. But this raises a monumental question. If our automated judges are inherently flawed or biased themselves, doesn't that mean the entire foundation of AI development is kind of tilted? To really get this problem, we've got to establish our baseline. The industry standard right now is this paradigm called LLMs-as-Judges. Basically, we take a super powerful model, think GPT-4, and we ask it to act as our scalable human grader. Usually, this happens in what we call pairwise comparisons. You give the AI judge two responses, option A and option B, and you just ask, hey, which one is better? It turns out this pairwise method actually mirrors human judgment way better than just asking an AI to randomly score a single text out of 10. It's a brilliant setup for sure, but it's also highly vulnerable. Section 1, the selection bias trap. A hidden culprit. Now, what's really interesting about this is here's our actual smoking gun. Picture this. The AI judge is asked to choose between two responses, and it picks option 1. Awesome. But then, researchers ask the exact same question with the exact same two responses, but they just flip the order they are presented in. And suddenly, no way, the AI changes its mind. It picks the other response. The AI flips its preferred answer just because the order swapped, or because option A suddenly became option B. I mean, imagine a human judge changing their verdict from innocent to guilty simply because the defendant moved to a different chair in the courtroom. It completely undermines the fairness of the whole evaluation. So let's break down this selection bias into our two main culprits. First up, we've got positional bias. This is when the AI blindly favors the first or maybe the last response it reads. It's kind of like a tired human grader, right? Someone who subconsciously gives a slightly higher grade to the very first essay they read in a huge stack, simply because it's first. Then second, we have token bias. This is when the AI inherently prefers the letter A over B, completely regardless of the actual text attached to it. And because these two things, the position of the text and the ID token assigned to it, are naturally linked together, they basically gang up to derail fair AI assessment. Now, obviously, researchers have tried to, interrogate this suspect and fix the system. But the initial fixes, well, they were pretty ineffective. The first attempt was debiasing instruct, which is exactly what it sounds like. Just typing into the prompt, hey, please avoid position bias, be fair, and be objective. But just telling an AI to be fair falls entirely short. It just doesn't consistently work. Then there was the pride method. This was an older math fix that tried to estimate the bias and literally just divide it out of the final score. But here's the thing. Human language and AI probabilities, they aren't a simple division problem. This method missed all the complex nonlinear relationships happening under the hood. We absolutely needed something better. Section 2. Enter CalibraEval, mathematical justice. So enter CalibraEval. Instead of just begging the AI to be fair, CalibraEval corrects the bias distributions mathematically, right on the fly. It's a label-free method, meaning we don't need humans to sit there and manually create thousands of perfect examples to train it, and it happens at inference time, so exactly when the AI is making its decision. It essentially reformulates the whole debiasing problem. It says, let's not just guess the math, let's treat this as an optimization task where we map the skewed, biased probabilities directly onto clean, totally unbiased ones. And this brilliantly illustrates the core idea. If you have two responses, there are exactly 4 ways you can present them to a judge. You can show A then B, you can swap the text so it's B then A, you can swap the letters, or you can swap both. The foundational logic of CalibraEval is simple but incredibly powerful. A truly unbiased judge must deliver the exact same verdict with the exact same confidence across all 4 of these scenarios. If the probability shifts at all across these scenarios, boom, we have bias. So how do we actually implement this to improve evaluation fairness? CalibraEval uses something called the non-parametric order-preserving algorithm, or NOA for short. Think of it as basically adjusting the scales of justice. First, it collects the raw, potentially biased probability distributions from the AI. Second, and honestly this is the genius part, it preserves the partial order. This means if the AI strongly preferred a specific token before, that relative ranking is respected, but the absolute numbers are mathematically smoothed out. Finally, it maps these smooth numbers to a perfectly unbiased distribution. It forces the output to balance out perfectly. So, swapping positions or letters, it literally no longer tips the scales. Section 3. Proof in the data. CalibraEval results. Let's move to the hard numbers and see how this builds, because the data absolutely backs this up. We're looking at Fleiss's Kappa scores. That's a statistical measure of how consistent the judges are. The higher the percentage, the more consistent and fair the judge. And we tested this on a variety of models. With Llama 3, it starts at a baseline of about 20%. The old Pride method bumps it to around 27, but CalibraEval pushes it past 30. We see a similar massive leap with ChatGPT, jumping from a very biased 20% baseline all the way up to 32% with CalibraEval. And even on those massive, highly capable models like Qwen72b, CalibraEval squeezes out even more fairness, jumping to nearly 83%. It really does work across the board. So the crucial point here is the massive leap in reliability. We're looking at another reliability metric called the interclass correlation coefficient, specifically on ChatGPT. The baseline model is hovering way down in the mid-60s, right, with this huge margin of error. The older Pride method is a bit better, but still messy. But then you look at the results for CalibraEval, and it skyrockets up to the mid-80s and is incredibly tightly grouped. This visually cements the victory over selection bias. We are getting radically more stable, reliable, and fair evaluations. Section 4. Towards Fairer AI, Future of Evaluation. The researchers put it perfectly in their paper. They state, this work marks a step toward building more robust and unbiased automated evaluation frameworks, paving the way for improved reliability in AI-driven assessments. I absolutely love this quote because it really hits the nail on the head. Curing AI bias in our evaluation models today, that's what ensures the AI tools we rely on tomorrow are built on an absolute bedrock of fairness. If our yardstick is broken, everything we build with it will be crooked. CalibraEval fixes that yardstick. Which leaves us with this final lingering thought. We found a brilliant mathematical way to calibrate these systems today. But as AI models become vastly more complex, and as they increasingly take on the role of evaluating themselves and each other, who is calibrating the judges of tomorrow? It's a thrilling challenge for sure, and one that's going to define the next era of AI alignment. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking great questions and keep exploring.